Okay, I was telling everyone I was going to keep you updated here on, when I get in a tournament or not. And Wednesday I got in the WSOP $1,500 dealer's choice. Um, had a few hands. Now I'll tell you about a few hands, but you know, sometimes you just say how, why, and just part of poker you got to live with. You can only play your best, which, I play, like I say, every tournament like it's my last dollar. So I get so focused when I play. And then when the results come out, that's what they are. I mean, I don't know, but anyhow, I played it on Wednesday. Start off, all right, a little bit. And then I got up there, so I was looking good. Then I got in a bigger PLO hand, big monster pot. And dealer's choice, every player gets to call whatever game they want. And this one guy kept picking PLO, PLO. I even said to him one time, why didn't you get the PLO then? He goes, I will. Or I have. I forget what he said. But other than that, most of the time, different games every game, which was pretty fun. That's the great thing about that situation. You got like 21 different games to choose from. We had one player at the table that had no clue what the games were. And of course he ran like God. That's how it works. But I'm going to tell you about this hand. Now, the hand that crippled me. What would you do? That's what I'm going to ask you right now. When I tell you this hand, you tell me what the heck would you do. Okay? All right, here we go. I'm on the button. We're playing PLO. There's a raised pot to 700, I believe it was. Call, gets to me on the button. I look down. I have ace of clubs, eight of clubs, king of diamonds, jack of diamonds. That's a pretty good hand. I make the call. All right, here comes the flop, folks. You're not going to believe this. The flop comes king of clubs, nine of clubs, queen of diamonds. Well, I've got ace, eight of clubs. I got the nut flush draw. Okay? So I know probably somebody flopped a straight. Okay? All right? Probably, right? Guy started the pot, raised pot. One guy called. I look down, I'm like, wow, I got a call. I got the nut flush draw. I make the call. Now here's where it gets interesting. The turn comes the ace of diamonds. Now I've got nut flush draw in clubs, nut flush draw in diamonds, plus I have aces and fucking kings. Where am I going to go? Nowhere, right? No way. Guy went pot again. The other guy folded. I'm like, God, I'm thinking, God, if I don't hit this card, I'm fucked. But God, look at my outs. Any club, any diamond, a 10 will give me a straight, ace high straight. An ace or a king gives me a full house. How can I fold this hand? No way. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's bet the whole way. He's got to have a set, or he's got to have the straight. Either way, he's got to have one of those two. He has to. Of course, I don't have the straight. I got two pair, both flush draws. And the river come eight of hearts, which completely missed me. He went pot. Now that would put me all the way in with the rest of my chips. And I thought about it. I'm like, he's got to have the straight, or he's got to have the fucking trips. He has to be. I took my hand and I showed him all four cards. I said, I just want to show you how lucky you got on me. I said, I know you got at least a set or the straight. I showed him my hand, and he goes, wow. Geez, no wonder you couldn't fold. I go, yeah. And he showed me that he did flop trip nines. He showed me his hand, 2 cards. So he didn't have the straight, but he was betting on trip nines. That pot was massive. And that crippled me. I would have been out if I would have called. My aces and kings couldn't beat trip nines. But this is what I'm getting at. In certain spots, you got to hit the card. You got to. I hit that card, I'm probably still playing, the next day. That's how big that pot was. When every card gets better, you're like, are you kidding me? And your equity just keeps rising like the sun? I mean, my Lord. How can I fold? And when that ace of diamonds came up on the turn, give me top 2 with both nut flush draws, I'm like, I don't think anybody in this world could fold this hand right now. And of course, in the river, like I said, was the 8 of hearts, which did not help me. That crippled me. But this is part of the game you got to deal with. I was on the button. I mean, I think ace 8 of clubs with king jack of diamonds is a good hand to call when you're on the button in that game. And then you flop the nut flush draw, even though there's a straight out there. He may not even have the straight, and he may have a set, which that's what I thought he had in the first place. I thought he might have flopped a set of queens. But here was a set of nines. So that's the hand that had me downfall. And this is probably one tournament that I got out the quickest. Mainly because you got to hit draws when you're playing these games. You got to hit it. I had a nut. By the way, the hand. Oh my Lord. The hand I went out on was 7 card stud 8 or better. I had rolled up threes. I was betting the whole way. I was kind of low on chips, so I had to bet. And I never got no improvement. Never got no love. Instead of threes didn't win the hand. But this is what I'm getting at. I mean, by the way, when it did get to 7th Street on the stud, I had a chance to get a low, but it never came. I didn't get a full house. And, I mean, this is what I'm getting at. You gotta have that little bit of luck in there. I walked away from that tournament pretty sad because I know how good I think I play. But you gotta have. Can you imagine if I win that big hand, I hit the river, and that 8 of hearts is the 8 of diamonds, and I scooped the biggest pot of my lifetime, and who knows, this guy may have went all in anyway. Of course, I would have called, and he would have been out instead of me being out. But I was able to fold aces and kings to that guy. Of course, like I said, he could have flopped the straight, but he didn't. He showed me 2 nines. So, but hey, I told you guys I'd keep you updated. I'm not done yet. I think I'm going to play the horse next week. I'll let you guys all know. But hey, I'm just hanging in there. I just love everything about poker, except for the way I run. Especially in big moments, in big hands. It doesn't go my way, and that's what cripples me. So, hey, listen, everyone, thanks for rooting for me. I'm trying to stay positive. I truly am, and that's about all I can do. Play my best and go from there. You all have a good day. Thanks for listening to me, and may God bless you all. Thank you.